kinds of relationships with ourselves, with others, and with something and someone beyond us. Why is it most relevant and personal today? Because is there anything more relevant than relationships, guys? कब तक अकेला भूत बन के रहेगा? शादी करो ना करो, कोई तो चाहिए ना भाई. Someone to share your heart, someone to connect with, someone to really share your joys and sorrows with. Who it is a different story. And which is exactly why, with a hot topic like connecting to yourself and others, I don't think there can be a more relevant topic in the world today than relationships. All your money, all your success, खाली रह जाएगा भाई. क्या करोगे अकेले? क्या करोगे अकेले? क्या करोगे भाई साहब अकेले? कोई तो लगेगा. बस एक सनम चाहिए. मुझे नहीं. सब सोच रहे गुरुजी. And of course, this book is also cutting across all generations. It begins with Gen Z. It talks about sexual orientations. One of the most taboo topics that why are people running away from talking on sensitive topics? We live in a very different world today. To have empathy, to be able to understand is critical. So we have a Gen Z character, we have a baby boomer, we have a millennial. We just left out alpha because बहुत छोटे हैं अभी. So I think it's kind of like that, and it's very personal for me because in this book I kind of really churned out every tidbit of my thoughts and feelings and put them into words. But I must tell you, they wanted to have the session at JLF, and I began writing this book in September and pulled it off in a month, guys. We pulled this off in a month, and HarperCollins pulled it up and brought it out in 2 months. They deserve a loud round of applause. The entire thing was like on top, late nights, and definitely what an absolute pleasure and joy to be able to do this and tell you, guys, you can have it all. Now, what does that "you can have it all" mean? Pick up a copy, go through it, and allow me to be on your bedside every day. And maybe you will know why you can have it all.
Which brings me to, there are many things, as you said, that you've written in the book about their success, failure, judging oneself, others, awareness, reflection, contentment, communication, trust. And in the end, you talk about perspective. You say it comes down to perspective. There's a quote that both your editor and Trisha and I love from the book. You say, now let's talk about the word assume. Break it down, and what do you get? As, you, me. You probably heard this joke before, but when we assume without clarifying, we make an ass out of you and me. So what does it mean to clarify, to have perspective? How does it help us to live our lives?
Yeah, I mean, this question can be answered in many different ways, but since we are on relationships, I'll stick to, are you okay? Shall we stick to relationships?
Yeah.
I can answer this question in many ways, but let's stick to relationships in particular, right? How many of you have ever misunderstood somebody? Oh, brilliant. How many of you have been misunderstood by somebody? Brilliant. How many of you have wanted to say something but have never said it to somebody? How many of you are carrying it in your mind and saying, "एक दिन बोलूंगी, लेकिन ऐसा दूंगी ना इसको"? And how many of you are waiting for that golden moment कि एक दिन दूंगी, लेकिन कभी नहीं दिया अभी तक? My God, क्या उस गली में कभी तेरा जाना हुआ, जहाँ से ज़माने को गुज़रे ज़माना हुआ, मेरा समय तो वहीं पे है ठहरा हुआ, बताऊं तुम्हें क्या मेरे साथ क्या क्या हुआ, खामोशियाँ आवाज़ है तुम सुनने तो आओ जरा, छू कर तुम्हें खिल जाएंगी, घर इनको बुलाओ जरा, बेकरार है बात करने को, कहने दो इनको जरा, खामोशियां तेरी मेरी खामोशियां। गीता का श्लोक पूछो क्या? गाना पूछा तो सब बोल दिया आपने। Now, here's where perspective and assumptions are a problem, guys. The problem is we don't speak. बताऊं तुम्हें क्या मेरे साथ क्या क्या हुआ, तो बताना भाई, खामोश क्यों हो? बताऊं तुम्हें क्या मेरे साथ क्या क्या हुआ, किसी ने रोका है बताने को? क्यों रोक रहे हो अपने आप को? खामोशियां. The problem is we don't speak, and the problem is that other guy doesn't ask. And that's when duriya, there's distance. And this is not just about the conjugal relationships, in every relationship. Right? दोस्तों, बातें करना कितना जरूरी है, अपने दिल की बात खुल के बोल पाना कितना जरूरी है, सही तरीके से बोलना चाहिए. I'm not saying be aggressive, सही तरीके से, but talking your heart is so essential. In the book I write a story of a boy named Arnav, and a teacher asked a small boy called Arnav, Arnav, if I give you 2 strawberries and 2 strawberries, how many will you have? He said 4. I give you 2 apples and 2 apples, how many will you have? 4. If I give you 2 mangoes and 2 mangoes, how many will you have? He said 5. He said 2 and 2 strawberries are 4, 2 and 2 apples are 4, and 2 and 2 mangoes are 5. How? He reached his hand out in his bag and said, I already have 1 mango in my bag, madam. So 2 and 2 is 4, and 1 mango in the bag already makes it 5, right? अगर टीचर ने अर्नव से पूछा नहीं और अर्नव ने टीचर को बताया नहीं, तो टीचर हमेशा सोचती रहेगी अर्नव उल्लू है, ये 2 + 2 मैंगोज को 5 बोलता है, और अर्नव हमेशा सोचता रहेगा टीचर हमेशा मुझे अब्यूज करती है बोल के तू उल्लू है. Ladies and gentlemen, there's always a hidden mango. If your husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend is cheating on you, the fact is they're cheating on you, but do you know the hidden mango? Why are they cheating on you? Your son, your daughter is not behaving right, not doing things right. That's a fact. They're not performing. They're not doing. But why are they not doing? There's a hidden mango. So that spelling of the word assume, A-S-S-U-M-E, is you make an ass out of you and me when you assume. Why don't we talk? Why don't we try to understand the why? The what is very clear, it's evident. But until and unless we go to the why, the teacher went to the why to see what was hidden inside the bag. That's how she got to know why Arnav was saying 2 + 2 is 5. Why is your son misbehaving? Why is your daughter doing this? Why is your spouse cheating? Why is your boyfriend not behaving right? Why is this happening? If you don't figure that out, trust me guys, relationships are always sour. और इसीलिए खामोशियां गाना से एक सीखिए, खामोश नहीं रहना चाहिए, बातें करना सीखनी चाहिए. That's where you understand each other's perspective. जब तक एक दूसरे के पर्सपेक्टिव को समझेंगे नहीं, जब तक एक दूसरे की बातों को समझेंगे नहीं, कैसे चलेगा? In the book I also write about the 9-6 analogy. Right? We all see things in a very different way. Gen Z sees in a very different way, and me as a Gen X guy sees things in a very different way. Like one little 5-year-old was asking Alpha, not Gen Z. Alpha was asking his mom, when was I downloaded, mom? My God! Thank God he didn't ask when was I uploaded. Sorry about that. I'll tell you what. Someone sees a 9, someone else sees a 6. And we are fixated. This is a 9 and they are fixated. It's a 6. When you move towards this side to see how they see that same digit, and they move to the other side to see how this guy is saying the same digit, that's when perspective comes in. The willingness to listen to the other person's story. The willingness to try and look at other person's viewpoints. And that is a big, big blessing in trying to make our relationships peaceful, joyful, and meaningful. So that's the power of perspective. Thank you.